Hey guys, Punisher 88 here, coming to you live from work as usual, but you already knew that. Well, today's Saturday, and that means it's time for the weekend review. To those of you who don't know what the weekend review is, it's basically where I dig deep into my comic book collection and pick a couple titles and review them for you. How I go about picking a title is I throw a question up on the Punisher 88 Facebook page and give you guys, the viewers, the option to vote on which title you'd like to see reviewed. And whichever title gets the most views, I'll review it. Well, this week I'm going with a series or company name that I haven't done yet since I started doing reviews, and I've always wanted to since I have a whole stack of their books, and I was really excited about this. Um, what I'm talking about are books from the Amalgam universe. I have a couple subscribers who have told me that they're big fans of the Amalgam books, so I figured let's go with it, you know. And it'll give me a chance to finally read some of them too, because I haven't yet, and I was really excited to. So I posted 3 titles on the group page, and when it came time to picking them, 2 out of the 3 books actually had 2 votes each. So 2 of the books came in with as a tie. And my thing is, when a book gets a tie, I review both of them. So this weekend, you, the lucky viewers, get a double review. So, let's get to it. But first, let's have a little intro music, shall we? Hey guys, welcome back. So, I explained that tonight I was doing a review of 2 uh, Amalgam books. So, let's get to it. The first book I read, sorry for the messy hair. The first book I read was Darkclaw Adventures #1, and um, well, I don't think you need to guess who the mix-up in this story is. Pretty much, Darkclaw is a mix of Wolverine and Batman, which I find is pretty cool. And this is the first time I've ever read any of my Amalgam books. Like I said in the intro, I have a good pile of them, but I just never got around to reading any of them yet. And the funny thing is, whenever I go to like a flea market or whenever Comic Con comes around, um, I'm always looking for them because I'm trying to collect all of them. To those of you who are curious about, there are 24 Amalgam books altogether, um, 12 from DC and 12 from Marvel. Um, the whole thing about Amalgam was in '96, towards the end of it, there was a big crossover of Marvel versus DC, and towards the end of that story, each company put out 12 books, um, fusing pretty much some of their best Marvel characters with DC and vice versa, DC with Marvel. And yeah, so Darkclaw Adventures there is another Darkclaw book as well that I'm looking for, but anyway, Darkclaw Adventures pretty much tells of how Darkclaw's enemy, Lady Talia, is trying to kill him for. She wants to get her revenge on him by killing him for him killing her father. Those of you who are wondering, Lady Talia is basically a mix of Lady Deathstrike and Talia al Ghul. Uh, Seems only fitting, Lady Deathstrike was, Wolverine, and Talia al Ghul was with Batman. So, and there's a flashback scene showing how Darkclaw killed Talia's dad, and she also explains in that flashback how she went on to become Lady Talia. Basically, she tries to rescue her dad from a fire, and about 90% of her body got burnt. So a lot of the burnt skin in it was replaced with like adamantium metal and that. So, and she looks pretty cool because her face and hair is like Talia al Ghul, and the rest of her body, her uniform, and that is just like Lady Deathstrike. So it looks really neat. And it's your basic revenge story, You see the hero, you hear the villain's idea, then some more backstory on the hero. Villain finds the hero, big battle, and you wonder what the outcome is going to be. Is he going to die or live? So that's pretty much that. Um, and I'm not going to spoil it for you guys because I want you to try and find this book. These books, you can find these in dollar bins now. They're not hard to find. So, well, actually, the Darkclaw ones, maybe you might pay a little bit for them because they're probably like the more popular of the Amalgam books. But a lot of the other ones, you can find them in dollar bins. I see lots of them in dollar bins. So, just putting that out there. And actually, today, I'm going to be hunting for some more Amalgam books because I don't know if you guys know, today is Halloween Comic Fest at pretty much almost every comic book store that I know. And what that is basically it's kind of like a free comic book day, and but it's reprints of some comics. Some are new, but they're reprints of certain books, and basically they're Halloween Comic Fest editions. I'll put a link in the description of the website so you guys could check out what books are you can get for free today and that. So anyway, and so yeah, so I'm going to be looking for some more Amalgam stuff today, and who knows what I'll find. But anyway, what I really wanted to talk about were some of the little things in this book, like the different stuff you see, like I mentioned, Darkclaw is basically Batman and Wolverine together. Lady Talia is basically Lady Deathstrike and Talia al Ghul. Um, Darkclaw's sidekick um, is basically um, Robin and Jubilee put together, and they call her Sparrow. So they go with the whole bird thing. So that was cool. Um, one scene I really like, I want to show this to you guys, was they show inside, I guess it's like the Bat Cave or whatever they want to call it in here. And now, whenever in the comics, when we see inside the Bat Cave, there's always a couple main things we see. There's always a giant Joker card, there's a giant Lincoln Penny, the T-Rex, and, well, okay, those are the three main things off the top of my head. And, well, the Batmobile and blah, blah, blah. But those are the three main objects we usually always see when they show a picture of the inside of the Batcave. Well, what I like what they did in here is they did a spin on that, and so the card you see is an ace of spades. They show the dinosaur, but the coin is not a penny. In here, they went with Wolverine's side, and they put a nickel instead. I like that little nod to the Canadians there. So, and so we see that. Another thing I thought was cool was while Talia is trying to find Darkclaw, she Darkclaw himself, he wants to train and be ready for when she finds him because he knows she's going to find him. And the room he goes to train in. Now, in X-Men, they had the danger room where they train and everything. Well, Darkclaw has something like that, but in this book they call it the Danger Cave. The mix, Batman. Anyway, and the story itself is funny. Well, funny. I mean, it's very basic. Like I said, revenge story. But it's just all the little mashups in the book I thought is what got me. Also, I really like this full page ad for get a free Mad magazine with Tang. That's cool. And another thing that was cool is when Darklaw's training, some of the villains they mention, like there's one, his name's Harvey Osborn, or they call him the Two-Faced Goblin. There's Cyber Croc, Blood Crow. I don't know who that's really supposed to be a mix-up of. There's one called Hyena. I don't know who he's supposed to be, but his face looks like the Joker. There's one called Spiral Harley, which is Sparley and not Sparley. Spiral and Harley Quinn. Spiral, I believe, was an X-Force character. Not entirely sure. And then you got Omega Beast, which is, I think, Beast and what's his name? I forget. Anyway, so that's pretty cool. And then finally, during the big fight, which is pretty cool, and there's one part right towards the end. I like what Darkclaw mentions. Like Talia stabs him. She stabs her claws right through him. And the line he says, I thought it was funny. Well, funny, but it's a reference to the Marvel comics. And he goes, surprised me there. I didn't really think you had a death strike in you. The reference to Lady Deathstrike, which was cool. And then Sparrow is all like, oh, what are you going to do? Are you going to kill me? And Talia's like, no, you're innocent. I still have some decency in me. And then she rips her claws off, and she's about to stab herself. And Darkclaw starts talking again. And when I say it was funny, because it's sad how Darkclaw and Talia, they're talking to each other, and um, they say they love each other and all that. The very last panel, I laughed because you see Talia and Darkclaw in one side, and they're all like, it's a sad moment. She's holding him, and during that whole battle, Talia ended up tying up Sparrow, and across the other side of the panel, you still see Sparrow tied up, and she's just like, "Hey, could someone untie me?" The end. And I thought that was a good touch. It was a sad scene, and then they had that little bit of humor at the end, and I thought that was funny. So it was pretty cool. And the cool thing about these Amalgam books are when you look at some of the people who did the writing on them, writing, artwork, and that, there's some like popular names. Like on this one, is he the artist or the writer? No, the writer. It's Ty Templeton. Now I know he did work for DC, and right now he's doing work on the Batman '66 comic. Um, I've never read any of the issues, but I know they're basically based off the old '60s TV show, and he's doing the writing on that right now. And apparently, it's a pretty popular book. So yeah, that's pretty cool. But so Darkclaw Adventures #1. Would I recommend this? Oh yeah, this is It's funny because what to me it's funny not by how the writing is, but it's more funny by all the little mashup stuff in it. So that's why I think it was funny, and it was good. And like I said, to find it, you might have to pay a couple extra bucks for it because Darkclaw seemed to be one of the most popular characters in the Amalgam books. So, but I don't think you'd be paying that much for it. So, I think I paid $4 for this. It's a stretch, from a dollar or whatever, but whatever. Excuse me. All right. Book number 2 is Super Soldier Man of War, featuring guest starring Sergeant Rock and his Howling Commandos. Well, just from the cover, which is an awesome cover by the way, I like this cover. Um, you see Super Soldier, and basically Super Soldier is a mix of um, Captain America and Superman. I mean, he has the outfit of Captain America, but his shield is the Superman logo, which is pretty neat. And this story actually takes place in, it's supposed to be like the, what's it, the Justice Society of America, like back in like World War II and that. That's when this is supposed to take place. So, the story with this is, you have, like they show some of the characters, like you have one, his name is Aquaman, Submariner. There's Human Lantern, who's like the Human Torch and Green Lantern. Who else is there? Where's the other guy? Brooklyn Barnes instead of Bucky Barnes. Um, you got a guy named Wiz instead of Flash. Stuff like that. And anyway, um, this story is basically, it revolves around when um, Super Soldier actually goes off to fight in World War II. And CC gets him and Jimmy Olsen. He's actually Jimmy Olsen in this book. And they get on the boat and everything. They're going to Europe. But in here, Jimmy Olsen knows Super Soldier's like identity, and he's called Clark Kent in the story, but yeah, Jimmy Olsen knows his secret identity as Super Soldier. Whereas in the Superman books, Jimmy Olsen doesn't know Clark Kent is Superman, and so they're on the boat going to Europe, and we meet the Howling Commandos and Sergeant Rock on the boat, which is funny because Sergeant Rock from DC, and the Howling Commandos were originally led by Sergeant Fury. Uh, so there's your mix there of the dark that look Marvel and DC. And so they're on their way to Europe. There's a little thing that happens where the boats are in the middle of an ice field in the ocean. So Super Soldier takes care of everything, and everyone's all, oh wow, he saved us and all that stuff. And then while that's going on, there's he there's a part that's like, some of the parts in this story, it's like so. Um, like I like the action parts in this book. Like the so parts are like, you see Super Soldier after he saves the boats, he flies away and like he meets Winston Churchill, and Lex is there, and then um, while that's going on, Super Soldier hears a signal from Jimmy Olsen's watch, like how it was in the Superman comics, and he flies back and he sees that the boat Jimmy Olsen's on is going to be about to be blown up because there's these torpedoes coming, and so Super Soldier catches them, and It's basic stuff like that. And then um, there's a part where Super Soldier goes back and he's with Winston Churchill, and they're talking about the Howling Commandos, and Super Soldier's like, I wonder how the war's going for Sergeant Rock and the crew. And we fast forward to we see a castle, and it's mentioned it's deep in the heart of Nazi Europe, and we see that the Howling Commandos are caught, and the from what we know at first, we think that it's Baron Zemo who's leading everyone, or like who's in charge and everything. And then we find out after the Germans lock up Sergeant Rock and his crew. Um, from earlier in the story, Super Soldier notices this French guy sneaking around on the boat. Well, we find out later on that she was actually a spy for the Americans, and so she helps the Howling Commandos break out in that. So then, up to this point, we still think that Baron Zemo is in charge of everything, and then we find out he's not, because we see only from the back we see this chair with the Nazi logo on it, their insignia, and we see someone sitting in the chair, and he's the one who's actually giving commands to everyone. And when I saw that right away, I was like, we gotta find out who it is, since this is a one shot, so we gotta find out who it is at the end of the book. And we do. So it flashes from that to the Howling Commandos breaking out. And by the way, the one who we thought was the imposter, her name is what's her name? And here her name's Madam Peggy, but I think it's supposed to be like what's her name from Captain America? They are oh, I'm at a loss of words right now. What the heck's her name? Betty, Agent Carter. Is it Betty Carter? I don't know. Anyway, Agent Carter. I think it's supposed to be a version of her. And so as they break out, um, the mystery person sitting in the chair, he gives an order to unleash this super weapon called the War Wheel, and we get to see what it looks like, and it's pretty scary looking. That's the War Wheel. Pretty freaky, yeah. And so they're all running from this giant flame throwing, bullet spewing, spiked wheel of death, and Peggy gets hit. She gets hit with a bullet, and just before you know she's about to, well, she doesn't die, but she needs help, and before she does, she sends out this a message to the Americans to come, help or whatever, and well, actually, it's a message to get uh, Super Soldier back to help the commandos and everything. So he comes rushing in, super heroic style, and he picks up the war wheel and shakes out all the Nazis and that, and starts beating them all. Real like cheesy superhero stuff, but every now and then it's fun to read something like that. And so then Jimmy Olsen and Super Soldier find Peggy, and they're like, we didn't know you were working for someone from Washington, blah blah blah. Goes into that, and then whatchamacallit there, what is it? Hold on. Oh yeah. Then after they beat up all the Nazis, the bad guys, um, the the Howling Commandos, they're trying to find Zemo and wondering where he is, and so they start looking all over the castle for him, and they discover underneath the castle a U-boat dock. So, and when they get there, it's too late because the boat's getting away. And the very end of the one of the very last panels, we find out who the guy was who was sitting in the chair. We find out that it was actually Lex Luthor, and he's working with the Germans. And they, in the very last panel, you see he has what looks like a hunk of kryptonite, and he mentions how he's going to create um, like a super soldier that even, well, a super soldier like being that super soldier himself can't even beat, and he calls him Ultra Metallo. So you get your mix of Metallo and I believe Ultraman together. So, and then you get the end. And again, not. I mean, do I recommend it? Yeah. I mean, you get a thumbs up. It wasn't as well. Let's see. This I find was more serious than the Darkclaw one. Uh, Mind you, I like this because of the cheesy moments with it being both Captain America and Superman together. So I like that, and but I find this had more funnier stuff when it came to like the little you know uh, the mashups. That's it. So, but I mean, still a good book. This one I paid $1 for, and also going back to the whole having some like very popular writers and stuff. This one, the team on this one, okay. Uh, for the writing, right off the bat, yeah, Dave Gibbons. Now, those of you out there who don't know who Dave Gibbons is, um, just read Watchmen, because it's him and Alan Moore were the minds behind. Well, Alan Moore was more the mind behind Watchmen, but him, Alan Moore, and David Gibbons were the ones who went through with the whole thing. So, I mean, you got a pretty heavy hitter here with that. And then doing all the ink work, which was done really good, is Jimmy Palmiotti. And to those who may not be familiar with his name, you skip to now, and it's him and what's her name? I think it's Amanda Connor. They're the ones who are doing the new Harley Quinn series for DC. So uh, it's some pretty cool stuff there. Um, one book one Amalgam book that I'm looking for. I believe if there was a reading order, I think this is the first book, and it's called Amazon, and it's a mix of Storm from Marvel and Wonder Woman from DC. And the writing and the ink work is done by John Byrne. So, you know, maybe some of these might not be so popular now, but when you look at the creative teams behind them, wow. So, so be on the lookout for some more Amalgam stuff in the future. So, uh, and if you guys want to see any other stuff, well, if you have any ideas, just let me know on the Punisher 88 Facebook page. One thing I wanted to get out of the way was I got a message here on YouTube where who was it? Someone mentioned if I could do a review of the new Gotham show on TV. And I would, because I've been watching it from the first episode. And yes, I do like the show very much. Um, the thing is, the reason why I don't review it is because by the time I actually watch it, I watch it a day after. Um, I watch it a day after uh, everyone else pretty much has watched it. So that's why I find no real um, no real sense of reviewing it. Because if everyone else watches it already, well, what's the use in reviewing it? So that's why you guys may notice I don't review Gotham, I don't review Flash, or Marvel's Agents of Shield, even though I love all three of those shows. So, and yes, I've watched them right since they started. So, especially Agents of Shield, when a lot of people were, not behind that show, I've been with it since episode 1. So, and yeah, that's that. More senseless rambling. But anyway, I just wanted to get that out of the way. And so, sorry to, cut sentences and stuff, but this brings us to an end of another weekend review. Um, I know I said in the beginning I didn't want to go too long, but again, this looks like it's going to be another half an hour video. I apologize again, guys. But I hope you guys liked what you saw. Um, if you like this video, check out my other ones. If you like this one, like it. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like. Uh, Share, comment, all that stuff. And one more thing, another thank you to all the viewers. Again, this is in the same line of the most viewed video on YouTube. My epic mealtime chill video is now at 92 views. So if you guys haven't checked it out, give it a look. And I'll be seeing you guys on Thursday. Alright, so till then, I leave you once again with another comic book quote. This one coming from, I'm not sure what book it was, but it's Superman talking to Batman, and he clearly says, "Bruce, do everyone a favor and buy a sense of humor." I thought it was cool. Anyway, alright guys, I'll see you on Thursday. Laters.